So today we're going to be taking a look at acrylic cases for ETBs and booster boxes. I recorded this video twice and I didn't like the way that the audio turned out either time, so I'm just going to do a voiceover and there won't be any like ASMR box opening sounds, but I think that's okay. I'm just going to try to keep it snappy. And spoiler alert, the cases that I have on the booster box and the ETB in frame right now are the ones that I personally am going to choose to use. And before we go any further, none of these brands or companies gave me anything for free, and no one gave me any money or asked me to say anything about their brand. The main things that I was looking for is, just uniformity. I knew I was going to have to pick all the same ones, whether or not they had a stackable ridge. I picked no stackable ridge on the booster box case because I thought I would be more likely to stack them in a pyramid, and I picked the stackable ridge on the ETB case because I think those are more likely to be stacked right on top of each other, which is how I keep them. So the ones that I have on that I personally am going to go with is the Denavio cases. The booster box display case is not stackable. It does not have a quote-unquote stackable ridge, which is just the term that I'm using, but it does come with a display stand, and the Denavio cases also come with 4 rubber adhesive feet that you can attach to the bottoms. And the ETB cases that I'm using are also going to be the ones from Denavio, and those have the stackable ridge, which I think is very good for saving space. ETBs take up a little more space. I feel like I'm more likely to stack them, and I feel like I'm less likely to need the stackable ridge on the booster boxes because I'd be more likely to stack those in like a pyramid. And there are also versions of the Denavio cases that are stackable for a booster box, and the ETB cases also have a version that do not have a ridge and come with a display stand. And the rubber feet are a really nice include. This is the only brand that included rubber feet. You'll see on the ETB in a minute with the ridge that they don't fit perfectly, but they do the trick. And in my opinion, if you were to use the stand that these come with, I think the move is actually going to be to place it upside down. When you put the stand on this way, it covers up a big portion of the set label. And when you turn the stand upside down and place the box on top of it upside down, I think it gives it a really nice profile, and it acts more like a pedestal, and it looks super clean. And if I were to stand these up on the stand, I would do it this way. So the next product we're going to look at is the ETB case from the Hobby Layer. All of these products are very similar in many ways, and the Denavio ones are just the ones I prefer by a very small margin. So anything that I say that is not a preference for me might be something that you prefer about them, and none of this is an attack on these businesses or anything like that. But the biggest difference is that the Hobby Layer ETB case has significantly more room on the inside of the case. But there is a lot of room for this to move around in here, and if you were going to ship something in the case, this would not be the one. So there's a little audio from the original footage, and that is the main difference between the Hobby Layer ETB case. There's a lot of room in the case, and I wouldn't ship anything inside of it, and it feels like it would be really hard to center in terms of just displaying. Otherwise, the case is totally fine. And then the next product is also very similar, ETB case, no stackable ridge. The magnets are all very similar. All the cases were super clear. And the only difference about this case for me is that the front and back walls are slightly thinner than the Denavio one. It makes it feel a little less sturdy when picking it up from the front and back. And I just like the feel of the Denavio one a little more. The next one is a booster box case with a stackable ridge. Overall, the construction was just a little lacking in my opinion, but if you were to just stack them and leave them, I think that's fine. But I potentially would like to use these to ship things in the future as just an option for selling them in a case. If someone were to prefer having them shipped in a case, I want to have a case that I feel comfortable shipping things in, and this is not one of those. But again, in terms of just a display piece, if you were to display these or want to stack them, I think a lot of these would work perfectly fine. The lid definitely doesn't stay on as good as this one, but it does have a little more to grab onto. I am not a fan of how the lid fits, and it's squeaky. But if you were to stack them, I know this brand has stackable as well, but if you were to be stacking them, I would say the overall look is kind of clean. You get a little pyramid sort of bevel here. So that's all the magnetic top loading cases that I tried, and the Denavio ones are my favorite. And I will just use this moment to mention for other people with sensory sensitivity that when you open these, the whole room is going to smell very strongly of acrylic for a while. You get like a big hit of plastic in your face when you open them, and it gave me a headache. And I just realized I didn't really say the names of the brands of the other ones, but I'm not using those, so I'm not going to say their name in an attempt to not like talk bad about them. They're totally fine. And the screenshot is up there. Unfortunately, there is one that I will recommend against. I thought I would give these a try. They come in pieces that you have to unwrap and assemble, which takes a while. It's kind of fun, but they just don't stay together very well. So I will definitely not be using these ones. So yeah, overall, I think these have a really good look. They haven't been getting fingerprints on them or anything. I haven't been handling them too much, but these are the ones that I would feel the most confident storing, picking them up, moving them around the house, or whatever, even just to clean around them. These are the ones that I feel most comfortable picking up. And if I were to ship something in a box, it would definitely be these ones because they move around the least. So that's pretty much everything for the video. This is all the cases that I've tried so far. They are all magnetic top-loading cases, and there are other cases that are not like that. There are ones that have a slide-on panel, which I guess I could see holding together even better than the magnets. And if you have a preference, then please let me know. I'm just now noticing that there's tiny little holes on the plastic of my ETB, which I didn't notice when I bought it, so that's a little sad. Let me know if that ever happens to you. Overall, I'm super happy to have my product in acrylic cases now. I can't imagine going back, although they're very expensive, so I could see rotating product in and out of the cases as needed. And I don't really have a sign off or anything right now, but I'll just say at the very end that as a new Pokemon content creator, I'm just very grateful for the community, and one of my goals in life is just to be a champion for kindness, and I feel as though the Pokemon community is one of the best at doing that in the entire world. So happy collecting, and I hope to pay it forward all the way.